On this episode of the Superhero Show, we find out if Peter Parker hooks up with the Black Cat, and if the cat hooks up with the Black Cat, and if Doc Ock gets his slimy little tentacles all around that Black Cat. All of that and more on an all-new episode of the Superhero Show. Hello, nerds, and welcome to the Superhero Show, the only podcast that covers every single TV show based on comic books that we feel like talking about that week. Schedules might determine, based on the holidays, what we're actually doing. It's an Oops All Spider-Man episode, guys. We're talking about Spider-Man in the animated series, and only Spider-Man the animated series. I'll be your host for the evening, Mike Gravano, and with me is Ryan.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Mike. I would just love for you to do one thing. Whether it's pull out a handkerchief because a lady next to you had a sneeze or whatever, just to not start your sentence with oops all. Oh, oops all handkerchiefs. Oops all sneezies. Is this how we talk now?
Oops all criticism, I guess, is what I'm getting from Ryan.
I'm gonna describe Mike as oops all.
She's just gonna get in an endless loophole. Also with us is Caitlin.
Oops, it's me. It's all Caitlin, all here.
I like you tried to do. You fucked. It's oops all is what we're doing, Caitlin.
Oops, sorry.
When she said that, she stepped into a can of red paint. So that was pretty funny.
That was pretty funny. We have been on quite a long journey. We're early on at the season 4, the penultimate season of Spider-Man the animated series. How are you guys going to be sad that we actually only have like 20 episodes left of this? Or are you very excited?
Can I tell the truth?
Please.
I am enjoying this. I think it's fun. I don't think anything will ever be X-Taz, right?
No.
But I am enjoying this until Mike sent us a clip of a Fantastic Four cartoon, and now I am ready to move on to the next show.
Like, screw these next 20 episodes. It's time.
That was a Sunday morning cartoon that would like flip week by week with Fantastic Four and Iron Man. And even as a dumb idiot little kid, I went, these shows are not good.
What do you mean Sunday morning? You mean Saturday morning? Because Sunday morning you should be at church, my friend.
I know, but when my parents slept in and I didn't wake them up and I didn't want to get the belt, I would watch Fantastic Four or Iron Man. Sometimes the Malibu universe had cartoons like Prime. Was that Malibu? No.
The only Malibu universe I want to learn about is California Dreamin', the Saved by the Bell spinoff.
That was Saturdays post-cartoons. You get the weird, bad teen soap operas like California Dreamin'.
Oh, the weird, bad ones. After Saved by the Bell, the classic great ones,
one.
we would get Malibu Dreamin'.
Was that a spinoff?
Probably. They were teenagers.
They were teenagers, so it's shared world. Caitlin, how many of the shows we've mentioned have you heard of before?
I have never once heard of Malibu Dreamin' in my life. I thought that was made up completely.
All right, so Caitlin's younger than us. Ha, ha, ha. But, Caitlin, when you were like 10, what were the shows that starred 16-year-olds that you watched that you were like, oh, this is going to be so cool?
Definitely not Hannah Montana. I was older, but I can't think of anyone except for Hannah Montana right
Sam
now. And Pokemon.
Victoria
What?
Justice. I'm trying to think of shows my little sister watched.
Mary Kate and Ashley.
No, they were above you.
Yeah.
Euphoria? Was that it?
It was probably Euphoria.
Saturday morning. Oh, Mom and Dad are asleep. Let's watch Euphoria.
We're not taking a break. We're going to dive right in. Welcome to the S-Tasmania, bitch, a mini show within a show where we dive into the seminal and underrated after-school cartoon of the mid-90s, Spider-Man the Animated Series. This week, it's Partners in Danger, Chapter 3, The Black Cat. When we open, there's white claws in a safe, and there's a hottie stealing jewels. And she sets the alarm so she can see Spider-Man on purpose?
And I just want to point out that Marvel is its own company that comes up with its own characters, and any other company that came up with characters that are exactly like these characters 30, 40, 50 years before this, they're still copying Marvel. Like, this is clearly a Catwoman copy. Can we just admit to that?
What? No, you're saying Catwoman copied Marvel.
Right. 40 years before Black Cat, Catwoman was like, I know what Marvel's going to do.
Is this the most egregious ripoff?
I don't know, man. We have Man-Thing and Thing-Man. We have... or Swamp Thing and Man-Thing.
No,
there's
I
a
like
lot
Thing-Man.
There's a lot of them, but this might be, especially because like they're so horny for each other.
It's that the horned upness. Did that surprise you, Caitlin?
Not at all, because this is Felicia, as we will learn later. But like you know, I mean, the cat's her dad. Obviously, this is going to be Felicia, and that girl is just turned on for Peter Parker and Spider-Man. Can we just talk about how buff she is, though?
Yeah,
she ripped. That was the first thing I have in my notes: is buff cat.
Do we know at this point that she's serumed up?
No, we learned like 5 minutes in. So this opening is she sees Spider-Man and then sets the alarm off on purpose and then tussles. They have a tussle, and it is sexually charged.
And guys, I think that we have been alive long enough to know the difference between like a fight to the death and a fight to the smooches.
Fight to the cum.
What the fuck does your therapist think about you?
We're working through it.
No, baby, it was a fight to the cum. Oh, I'm sorry. Was that not clear?
The Black Cat knocks Spidey out, and she's like, "This is what I've wanted." And she goes to reveal his face, and then she's like, "Nah," and just kisses him while he's unconscious. I guess that's better.
I have the line right here, Mike.
Oh,
she says, I want to see who is behind the mask. On second thought, this is not what I want after all.
Yeah.
And then puts the mask back on.
And then she says, after she kisses him unconscious, and then she says, "It'll be far more fun when you take your mask off for me willingly."
I'm going to ask that you do not do a Black Cat impression for the rest of the episode. Is that
too hot?
Okay to ask? Yeah.
Too horned up?
No, I'm fucking. My nipples could cut glass. Did you guys notice that first 10 seconds of this episode, he's like, "Where's MJ? I love MJ. I'm searching for MJ." And then Black Cat comes in and literally never mentions Mary Jane again.
Literally, this episode and last episode, he starts it off like with his little monologue, like, "MJ's gone, but Felicia."
This is what college dudes are like.
Oh my god!
They think they're into one thing, and then any shiny new thing comes in front of them, they forget about the girl they supposedly love.
Do you guys think it has anything to do with the white hair? Is that horned up?
He's horned up for who's ever in front of him. Peter Parker and Spider-Man, both, if they see an attractive girl, they're going to be like, "Yes, I don't care who I love. I love this person in front of me right now."
So Black Cat lands in front of him, and then it cuts to inside his head, and it's Spider-Man and Peter Parker just high-fiving.
Yeah.
Hell yes.
Just from the opening, it's Carnage and Venom jumping towards each other. That's what's in his head, is Spider-Man and Peter Parker.
Their tongues touching.
Hot. He wakes up and he's like, "Oh, whoever that woman," makes a new definition for knockout. And then S.H.I.E.L.D. shows up, and they're hunting Spider-Man because they think he's in cahoots with Chameleon because the cat has disappeared.
And the cat is very wanted because, of course,
because he has knowledge of the super serum.
Yeah. It's
formula, and it's in his head, and he can't keep a secret. Apparently,
it's an extrajudicial imprisonment. This is Guantanamo Bay shit. He should not be in jail.
But that's not why S.H.I.E.L.D. only works in jizz guns. That's a separate reason, right?
Well, when you have that kind of supply, you got to get rid of it somehow.
Do you think that Nick Fury just refuses to go to like a sperm donor, and this is all his supply?
And he has that syndrome, like when there's like mothers who can't stop lactating. He has that, but for his nads.
Let me just explain real quick if you have not watched this episode. S.H.I.E.L.D. has basically gone away from lasers at this point because they're so tired of like heroes jumping around and not being catchable, and so they are shooting
globs of jizz,
white goo at all people.
Mm-hmm.
They saw it work for Spider-Man, so they're like, "Well, we're gonna make web guns, but instead of stringy, it's gonna be thick ropey globs.
It's like a whole fucking crew of Paste Pop Pete's.
A whole fucking crew of Paste Pop Pete. We cut to Hardesky, the cat, saying he trained the black cat. They're in the Kingpin's lair. And we learned that Landon recreated the super soldier serum. And he says, not just recreated it, improved upon it. Now it makes them even hotter.
I mean, Landon? You said Landon?
Landon. We call him Two-Face often, but it's Landon.
We call him...
I have Scarface in my notes, but I think it is Two-Face.
It's crazy that when we have the clear Catwoman ripoff, we also have this Two-Face reject in this episode. But, yeah, if anybody says, oh, this person recreated it, which is so impressive, he's like, oh, no, but more. Yeah. It's like 25% plus serum.
Well, at this show, like, the villains all have fucking huge ego, like, daddy issue complexes, and nobody is more whiny and bitchy than the weirdly originless Two-Face lizard Landon.
Which, I'm going to be 100% honest, I thought it was Two-Face, and then you just reminded me this is not DC, this is Marvel. So this is not Two-Face.
And Caitlin, it's not like you were watching poorly. This dude suddenly just showed up in an episode as Kingpin's number 2, and it was never explained what the fuck is wrong with him.
Well, I think that he flew in and he stuck the Landon.
I wish I could give points in the show.
It would be like if the three of us showed up for next week's show, but there was a fourth person, and it was just half man, half lizard, and I never explained anything.
Nobody mentioned it.
You guys just had to deal with this guy being on the show.
And that guy is a fucking bitch. He sucks to be around. Black Cat is revealed to be Felicia. What? She lies and says she did not see Spider-Man because we learn not only did they make the cat do help with the experiments on his daughter, that they're training her to be the assassin to take out Spider-Man. Then they get some alone time, and she tells her dad that she actually likes being the Black Cat, and he's just like a guilt mess. He's like, oh, you like being the Black Cat because I was never around for you to watch you grow up.
The reason I read comic books and watch comic book based stuff is because a villain shoots a motherfucker in the face. A supervillain will have 17 other ideas or plans before like they actually get their job done.
Yes.
It's just amazing the steps they go through.
Their conversation is weird. Not only are they standing too close to each other for my liking, he interrupts her talk about like how we're going to get out of this prison to be like, now that you have all grown up, is there anybody special in your life?
So weird how it's brought up.
Weird, out of nowhere. And then her answer, weirder. She says yes, and he's a lot like you.
He is. He looks just like you, Daddy.
Mysterious. But then clearly, because they're like, oh, let's have a private conversation. Kingpin's watching, because you're in his fucking prison. So he has cameras everywhere. And then he's like, I will destroy this family. Which, who's that for, Kingpin?
You know that whole thing where, like, if you go to a bathroom in, like, a Kohl's or a Target, like, you can assume that there's no cameras in the bathroom? That's not the case on Kingpin's lair. There's cameras in there.
Also not the case for Target or Kohl's.
God damn it, Mike. Stop creeping me out. But, like, I do think that most of Kingpin's money is based on cameras in the bathroom.
Yes. We cut to Peter. It's like late at night. He's at the Bugle, and he's asking Robbie if he knows anything about the Black Cat, and his face smeared with lipstick.
Mm-hmm.
So this was not like a full-on hickey herpy. It's just lipstick, right?
It's
just
lipstick.
Totally thought it was a herpy. The first time we saw it, I was like, oh my God, she gave him a herp.
I would love the story so much more if he was like, oh, look at this hot chick. She kissed him one time, and he broke out like crazy.
10 minutes later.
He's just like Langdon across his entire face with herpes. I'm half man, half herpy.
That's probably from the serum, right? No. That's from somebody's having a lot of fun at the Empire State University parties.
ESU.
JJ calls Peter into the office. He also calls him Peter for the first time ever because he's concerned. We learn that Mrs. Hardy is staying, Anastasia, which this might be the first time we've heard her name. She's staying at Jameson's house because
but like,
Felicia
if you're going to hear
missing.
about this person's first name, it's going to have 5 fucking... Of course it has 5 syllables. Jesus
Anastasia.
Anastasia.
Do you guys think something's going on? Like, are
Absolutely.
JJ and her too close?
Are you kidding me?
I am so fucking glad you asked because I was going to bring this up and scream it from the rooftop. It's not. They are totally fucking.
No, I don't think that. I think that Anastasia will keep J cubed going, thinking that he is going to get fucked, but never get fucked. He's so lonely and desperate. Like, guys, nobody wants to touch this person.
Because this version of him is not currently married, but we don't know what happened to wife.
I think so. And, listen to him talk.
Oh, yeah. She left his ass, for sure.
So, yeah, I think that Anastasia's like, Joni, can I stay at your place? But, like,
Joni.
do you think he's touching his penis?
She has to.
With its own little pube mustache above it.
No.
Do you think Anastasia's touching his Hardy?
Spider-Man goes to see her because he's like, oh, she's there. And she's a total dickhead. And he's like, bro, I'm trying to help here.
Yes, but I will say this. I know superheroes, you love like disappearing in the last moment, but Anastasia was about to open up to you, and then you hear in the background Spider-Man go, and like, no, man, stay for 10 more. You don't have to do the cool Batman thing. Just stay there and listen to her for 10 more seconds. She was about to open up.
He's impatient. The cat breaks himself and Felicia out. She thinks they're both escaping, and he goes, I haven't given you much, kitten, but I can give you your freedom. What fucking accent does this guy have?
Transatlantic / old /
old.
That's what it is.
rich. There should be an accent called rich.
It's the rich accent.
I have money and I talk like this. Was that
That was
it?
so close. She does escape. She crawls through the little tunnel and then jumps. There's just a random plane leaving a tall building in the middle of New York that nobody knows this is the Kingpin's lair. She escapes on the plane and goes home. And she's like, Mom, I met Dad.
How much money does Kingpin actually have?
Too much, I'd say.
In $1994, he has planes leaving his building at a nonstop rate. He does build like a giant shield helicarrier, right? That we see at the end. Like, how much money do you think he's in the billions, right?
He's in the billions. And I guess it's all that crime. I don't know what he did to make any of his money. Did he invest in Gateway Computers and that's why he's rolling it in the 90s?
I guarantee you, Mike, it's all that crime. it's just a crime, buddy. That's how he does it.
Mrs. Hardy, when Felicia shows up, is like, you know what? Who can help you save your dad? This guy. He gave me a little button. You press that, Spidey will show up. She does it as the Black Cat, and they tussle. And they talk about what the whole thing is. I like this version, not only because it was hot, but instead of just sitting down and having a conversation, we're on the roof, we're talking, we're having a normal written conversation, and the Amanders went the fuck off, and they are fuck wrestling all around the roof while having a normal conversation.
All right, so this is like, it's similar to podcasting, but very different. We're having a conversation right now. But what if we were all in the same room and only one of us could talk and we had to wrestle so one of us could talk?
Yes.
And that power struggle of like, no, I'm in control. I'm trying to help you. No, I'm in control. I'm trying to help you. And then we just wrestle until the show is over. Like, oh, that's 30 minutes, guys. We'll see you next week. That's what they're doing.
That's what they're doing. Caitlin, thoughts?
I thought it was fine. I thought it was fun. I thought it was a fun way to have the conversation. And then the mopeds had to come and ruin it all.
The shield on the flying mopeds.
The hover mopeds.
And this is where I get
came
off
and cock blocked.
where I get off my Superman thing, because I love watching two Superman and somebody else fight, but I love the street fights. I love the back half of this episode is like the best Spider-Man I've ever seen in this show, of just nonstop action and grounded superheroing, and like them kicking them off the Judge Dredd motorcycles and flying around corners. Like, this is why we love Spider-Man, and Black Cat basically has the same powers.
Yeah, but stronger and less webbing. She saves him. He gets gooed on his foot, so he's like fighting with one foot stuck to the roof, and she saves it. They have that great, I save you, you save me. They steal a motorcycle. He's on the back, but is still like, we're going to have to return this.
Which, it's the same night that we all had in middle school. But what I mean is that Black Cat can't fly up and like shoot laser beams.
Right.
These are just like people with
Street
powers that
level.
are like, yeah.
It is so much fun. running around throughout the city, and they do one of those sweet. She runs towards him, and he launches her up so she can jump even higher and take somebody on the bike out. Fuck yeah, guys!
And like 5 minutes before that, she's like, "Oh, we make a great team," and he's like, "I will never be on a team."
He's like, "I don't do teams."
And then they do that move, and I'm like, "Spider-Man, buddy, I think you're on a team.
Maybe be on a team." We cut to the cat in full head-to-toe garb running through the halls of the Kingpin's lair, and Kingpin's like, "I know this is a distraction. I'm going to kill your daughter." But she's just in her cell, back in there. What? And then he's like, "We're going to kill them all," but then Landon has to make more serum.
He goes to Black Cat's cell, and he does, I think this is the most rich person thing. He hits 2, the number 2 on the key code, and the door opens. How fucking baller is that? You have to hit 1 number, and that door opens.
Better pick the right one. We learn, it's not quite revealed yet, but the next time we see is the cat runs in. We thought he was back in his cell, but now he's in Landon's lab, and Landon does nothing but whine at him while the cat deletes the formula on the computer and saying, "This is the only kind of memory I trust," pointing to his head.
It is some sort of Mission Impossible. The way that people type on this show, I cannot get enough of. It is like they put like Pirates of the Caribbean animatronics up against keyboards, and the way that they type, they cannot move their arms or hands. They just type like crazy, and I love it.
Like Muppets.
I think a lot of people describe that's how I type, and
that tracks with who
I
you
feel
are.
very seen watching this.
Do your wrists go above your head when you're typing?
Absolutely. I'm like a marionette. It's fun.
Spider-Man reveals he was hidden as the cat.
By tearing off the black suit.
Why? Why would you have to do that? Just keep fighting as the cat. Confuse them more. Doc Ock
Imagine
is there.
tearing off one mask so you can reveal your other mask.
I guess double mask is probably really hot. Even though we were all told by the government we had to wear that for a while. Doc Ock just shows up and now he's fighting, and Kingpin just like FaceTimes in and goes, "You're all so predictable." And then S.H.I.E.L.D. shows up in force. They're attacking the stealth sky ship. It's fucking crazy.
S.H.I.E.L.D. is looking for the cat, right?
Yeah.
And Nick Fury's like, "Hey, have you found the cat yet?" And they're like, "We have not found him yet." And Nick Fury's like, "Full blast!" And then they just blow that ship. Like
kill
he
them.
is in there.
Oh.
We don't know where he is yet, and then they just fucking destroy it.
It's better to have collateral damage. Doc and Black Cat fall out. Spider-Man saves her, and you're like, "Oh man, he let Doc Ock die." No, Doc Ock, of course, has a parachute.
The classic octo shoot
The
that we all
octo-shoot.
know about. Yeah.
Then Spider-Man makes a little webbed parachute, and it's very cute. And they like sit there talking like, "This could be the start of a beautiful," and she just shoves him into the river. Mm-hmm. And he says, this shouldn't win any awards, but it is a good Spider-Man line. He says, "Why do women always leave me high and wet?" Which,
Caitlin, do me a favor and don't ask me, Mike, how many times we have been talking to a girl and they shoved us into the fucking disgusting New York River.
And they leave you high and wet.
smoking reefer and sopping wet down there. Hardesky has to leave them again. He's like, "No, the S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to keep trying to kill me or imprison me," and Spidey is helping him, and then they do.
Which
call
I was
S.H.I.E.L.D. to
sorry,
the
Mike.
prison.
I was stoked about that scene because Spidey's there to take Hardesky, which is like so clearly trying to change his last name at the Statue of Liberty or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
we're the Hardys now. I thought he was just spying and creeping on them, but he was
Right.
there to like swing him to S.H.I.E.L.D.
You just saw his face in the window, and you're like, "Come on, Peter, fucking stop."
Can we just talk about Daddy just needs to leave? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, he just is like, "I can't deal with this family. I just send me to prison. I just can't. I can't be here. I know too much about, a singular formula that I cannot talk to anyone about."
Oh wait, hold on. I have a little bit of a secret in my head, and
Yeah.
I guess I have to leave this family forever.
He's just looking for excuse. This is his pack of cigarettes.
The secret I'm worried about is how does everybody fucking know that this guy has this memorized?
For fucking real. How does everyone know? Because this guy can't stop and stop blabbing about it, apparently, because the only way that Scarface could have learned that he had the formula was he had to have told him the formula, because it's in the brain. Why couldn't he say like, oh no, I forgot? Like, that's how you solve it, my dude. I forgets these things.
What if the end of one episode was like, oh no, and then the beginning of the next one was, I forgot, and then
and then it's just Peter in class.
I don't know how many times we have to teach Caitlin this lesson, but like, he doesn't have a secret. He just wants to be away from his family. That is how dudes are.
I can't wait to make up a cool secret to get away from my family. All right, and that is the show. And then if Fury is like, I bet Spider-Man's got his sticky fingers all over this. Okay, so now you like Spider-Man. You're not trying to kill him, Fury? Come on.
S.H.I.E.L.D. is a runaway organization that does need a little bit more government control, I will say.
Probably.
The IMF should come in and take charge of them.
Let's get to those sweet, sweet Spidey awards. Caitlin, what's your web zinger?
My web zinger is when Spider-Man first sees the black cat and he goes, "You're definitely getting your vitamins," when she comes out super buff and jumps on him.
Ryan?
That could also be 90s, because, man, in the 90s, we were all about the vitamins.
Then Flintstone vitamins
Lived
for
at
sure.
Vita Shop.
I will not take a vitamin unless it's a character in the shape of a character that I love. Mine is when JJJ calls him Peter, talks to him for a little bit, gets pissed off about his lack of information, and then says, go back to your rooftops and sewers. And that's just a thing I'm going to tell people from now on. Every time I'm done talking to them, go back to your rooftops and sewers.
Don't explain. Storm out. For that, Caitlin, you're going to get 3 points, and Ryan, you're going to get 5.
Woohoo!
Now to Kung Fu Grip. Ryan, what do you got?
Black Cat and Spider-Man are fighting, and he shoots webs just below her, and she just yanks on him, and he falls to the ground and eats shit. Like, why don't people do that more often? Just make him eat shit. It's not that hard. Like, she didn't use her serum. Just pull on those webs.
Idiot. Caitlin?
Mine has to be when the cat and Black Cat are escaping from S.H.I.E.L.D. and
About to hook up.
about to hook up with her daddy. And there is a hallway, and obviously this hallway probably has lasers in it. So what does Black Cat do? He pulls out some pocket sand, and he makes sure that he throws the pocket sand so he can see all the lasers. And I think pocket sand is going to be my Kung Fu Grip.
Hell yeah. That's 18 points to Ryan, 20 to Caitlin. What is your 90s thing, Caitlin?
My 90s thing is going to be the fact that you can just delete things off of computers and it doesn't save, or like there's no backup or anything like that. It's just like it's gone. Like how you do that now? You can't do that now.
What if after all of that, the cat did that and Landon just did like Control Z? Just
I think
Right.
in the 90s, a Spidey villain could have been called Control Z. He just undoes whatever you just did.
I pulled it out of my recycle bin.
Ryan, what's yours?
There is a biker bar that is a biker-themed bar called Biker, and it's a themed restaurant, which, guys, in the 90s, that was every restaurant, and this one was themed biker. That's where all the bikers showed up. They went to the themed biker restaurant. It's like Planet Hollywood, but bikers.
But bikers. That is 33 points to Caitlin and 37 points to Ryan. Bikers, themed restaurants. You guys miss them?
Oh, I would love to order a cheeseburger and French bikes at a themed restaurant. I'm sorry, Mike. I should have done better.
It's late. It's okay. All right. In a New York minute, Ryan, what's your New York moment?
Oh, God. I mean, Spider-Man on the back of this motorcycle. I'm glad that he put on a helmet, but I swear to God, Black Cat is driving up as close to the back of these cars as fast as she can. She's being an asshole driver, but then Spider-Man says, I've never heard relax and New York in the same sentence, and we all know it's the city that never sleeps. Or relaxes.
Caitlin, rebuttal.
I mean, it is that one, but also there's a moment right after that where he goes, big bus, as they almost hit a big old bus because of the black cats driving. So I'm going to go with that one. It's a big bus.
New York is lousy with big old buses. 56 points to Caitlin, 53 to Ryan. I think our last award, of course, is Cassie. Let's Control Z that. Mike compliment.
Ooh.
What? Okay. Done.
Give it to me.
Mike has often, as he does, and people don't know this if they only hear him on the podcast. When Mike is having a conversation with you in person, he will push you up against a door and grab your lapels. And he will say, you can never lead a normal life with me in it. I know too much. And I have not led a normal life since I've met Mike, and I just know that he knows too much.
It's true.
That's why he left you. He needed you to be safe from his mind.
From the sick and twisted mind of Mike Gravano. Caitlin, what do you got?
Mike, I have here that Mike is the best driver in New York City that New York has ever seen. As a New York person who just went there, I know you saw them straights and you conquered them.
Yeah.
And when I look at you, I see confident New York streeter.
I will say,
New York streeter.
I'm not trying to affect the points here, but I will say that I have been in a car with Mike, and he is one of the worst, slowest bullshit drivers I've ever been in a car with.
But is that safe?
That I don't pedal to the metal the minute it turns green, screaming at anybody who might be in my way, and then slam on the brakes at every red light. That is true.
Caitlin, please don't snort when Mike is talking. But no, it is unsafe because people want to crash into him and fucking throw like a tied bindle of dynamite into his car.
And Mike is very smart for doing this because that's how he gets all of his insurance claims, and that's why he's so rich.
Absolutely not.
And that's how we live in this mansion now. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you all.
This 3-bedroom mansion that we all three live in.
That's 89 points to Ryan, 420 points to Caitlin.
Of course, 420 because he's always fucking high when he drives.
Totaling up, Caitlin has about 576 points, and Ryan has, I think, like 132. So Caitlin wins something. Caitlin, what you get to win is to tell everybody at home about a website.
In the voice of Mike's choosing?
In the voice of Mike's choosing. I want you to sound like the cat, the father, not the daughter.
Hey. I can't do it.
It's Mid-Atlantic Rich.
So you gotta go on to popfilter.co to go to podcasts. Popfilter.co. Nope.
You can just hear the pour in you. That's you don't sound rich at all.
I'm sorry. You need to get hit by another bus or something.
You're a dirty crawdad from a shitty Disney movie. That's what you sound like.
Ryan, now in the voice of the daughter, the black cat, in her full persona. What other shows should people check out?
Hello, Mike. I hope that you watch movie of the year. And when I say watch, I mean in your ears. And when I say in your ears, I mean in my pussy.
Oh gosh,
because that's a cat reference. It's not about my vagina. Meow.
I'm surprised they didn't. You know they wrote that. It got nixed.
Movie of the year 1996. Meow.
Trainspotting just came out. Isn't that fun?
Oh God, I would love to put my trains into your potting. Your plants, your potted plants. I will stick my.
Caitlin, can you tell everyone about social media as J. Jonah Jameson?
You need to go to the social media.
That's
Parker.
Bill Cosby.
To put it pop.
Instagram, your pop filter. Yep.
And we're also on Blue Sky.
Oh, yeah.
That's fine. Nobody's on Blue Sky but Greg.
He's all that
Ryan-
matters, though. This is for the big heads.
In the voice of Kingpin, tell people how they
Kingpin?
could get in touch with us and why they might want to get in touch with us.
You better get in touch with us because we have different opinions than you. Email us at contact@yourpopfilter.co.
Nope. It could not be the email. There's no your.
Oh, I thought you were saying no to the Kingpin impression.
No,
which was
Kingpin.
also like equally fine.
Contact at popfilter.co.
Contact at popfilter.co. Sorry. We'll say it at the same time. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Contact at popfilter.co. We're also on YouTube,
and Mike-
Popfilter Co.
What?
YouTube, Popfilter Co.
And Mike, can you tell us what is on next week's episode? In
Next-
the form of
Oh.
Caitlin doing J. Jonah Jameson.
You gotta go. Oh, you gotta go and listen to the Superhero Show. We'll be covering more Creature Commandos, probably more Spider-Mans. Enough said.